The angle that I invite you to take on, the attitude I invite you to take on here, is that you only have one stream. And that alone is your path. And you are expressing yourself in the truest way possible. And you're taking the most courageous step you can possibly think of in that moment. Every moment that you do that, this nagging background feeling, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, is always there, except when you're acting. Hello, friends. Can you hear me? Good. All right, then, let's get settled in. Take a deep breath. And relax. Take another deep breath. And relax. Another deep breath. And relax. Take a moment to recognize your sense of I am, your sense of aware presence. Just noticing that you exist, that you are. Just that. No additions, no concepts, just an experiential acknowledgement of the mystery of being, your own being. And further acknowledge that that is part of all that is. That all that is made of this beingness, this mysterious, yet also self-evident beingness. There's no experience anywhere without it. And then you let that sense of peace, of wholeness, radiate through you, through the window into oneness that is your body, and the window into oneness that is your mind, and the window into oneness that is your speech. And you just open that window. You let the breeze come in for a minute. That is meditation. You let the presence, the acknowledgement, the recognition of this brightness, this aliveness, this sentience blow into the house of this world through the window of your body and your mind, just by being relaxed and enjoying that soothing isness. Just that. Innocent being. no agendas. Just for a few minutes. Because the moment you have an agenda, the window closes. The window for this world into oneness through you closes. And also for yourself, it closes. So we say again to ourselves, I don't want anything from anyone or anything. From anything. I don't want anything from anyone or anything. There's a level to your being which already exudes this, for which this is already absolutely the case, where you are without needs. You are formlessly, invisibly, immortally happy, for lack of a better word. At ease, at peace, in joy. So you just open the window. You just relax the body, you relax the mind. And as you stop engaging with the level of you that wants this from this and wants that from that person and so on and so forth, you just relax that. You just give away your agendas. This window naturally opens and you feel the sunshine through, you feel that breeze come in from this level of your beingness where it is already true that you are one with Source, connected to all that there is, and therefore without any needs, innocent freedom right now. Wonderful. Take a deep breath. Keep your window open, but let's engage the intellect a little bit more, at least for the start of the session. So today I want to run a view by you, a theory, if you will, an angle, a way to view your life, an applicable way to view your life. I am traveling at the moment, hence the different setting, and I'll be managing a couple of things myself with the computer here, just so you have a little bit of context for the scenery. So, the single life stream theory, we could call it something else, but this is what I've named it for now. In essence, it's nothing new. You'll hear me use the same words that you've heard me use before. Things such as calling, manifestation, fulfillment, joy, and so on. Purpose, destiny. But sometimes it just helps to sort of string all these pearls together so that you actually have a necklace. You have something useful, something reliable, something applicable. And this particular angle is a way of viewing your life, your incarnation, your presence here, your opportunity, really, in a way that kind of strings together all these principles of, following your excitement, being true to your calling, your purpose, acting with courage and honor, being surrendered to Source or to God, if you prefer, and sort of being that open window into the world, freedom of expression, authenticity, transparency, honesty, so on and so forth. All these beautiful pearls of wisdom and love, if you can just look at them at the right angle, if you can look at the planets from the right angle, maybe they're all aligned. Whereas if you look at it from a different angle, they seem to all be scattered. So that's the usefulness of having a view or a theory or a way of viewing your life. So let us begin with a visualization. We've already established, and you may or may not believe this, or you may or may not be experientially convinced of this yet, but I think most of you would agree that somehow Everything that you see and hear and feel and taste and touch and think, and everyone you meet, and so on and so forth, and all the dimensions, and all the galaxies are somehow one. Or at least, which is easier to visualize, it is all connected. Connectedness or interconnectedness is sort of a beginner's way to explain oneness or to explain the fact that all is one. Because it still implies that there's many things. Okay, so there's all these galaxies, but somehow they're connected by some kind of a field. It's not really the case in my experience. At a certain level of the illusion, that appears to be a very good explanation that everything is connected. But it still buys into the idea of separate things, that these are really there and they're just really not there. So oneness, or ultimately the one, is a truer perspective, but it's just harder to get for the mind. It's harder to grok that idea. And so we say, okay, everything is connected or interconnected. And that's fine, that works as well. So view that however you want to view that. But the essence of the visualization I'm about to guide you through is that somehow everything is made of one thing, one substance. Everything comes of one thing and returns to one thing. Circle of life. So let's picture, let's give an image to this. So what if this substance was water? It's not, in case that wasn't clear, but let's say that oneness or God was water in this analogy. Now picture the water on this planet. We have water in the form of ocean. We have water in the form of dew. We have water in the form of clouds. We have water in the form of rain. We have water in the form of glacier ice. We have water in the form of rivers, groundwater, tap water, sweat, you name it. So there's all these forms that water can take. But at the end of the day, you're dealing with H2O. You're dealing with water. The same is the case for your experience. It seems different. It seems to have certain colors and shapes and sizes and dimensions and properties and attributes. But at the end of the day, you're dealing with God. God is another word for you. You is another word for God. You're dealing with yourself. Bottom line. Wherever you go, there you are. Not just as a physical person. Wherever you look, there you are as well. Not just as the one looking, but also as that which you are perceiving. So somehow everything is this water-like substance, if you will. Now, in the analogy of water, ask yourself, where does the water begin? Does it begin in the glacier, the frozen water in the form of glacier? Does water begin when it melts and it starts to form a little stream that becomes a river? Is the river the beginning of water? And what about once it's made its way all the way back to the ocean, from the mountaintops all the way back down to the ocean? Is that where water begins? Is it where it ends? Or does it begin when the water evaporates, accumulates, and becomes what we see as clouds? Where does water begin? Where does water end? In other words, where does your journey begin? Your journey as God, and where does it end? Does it start with first density, then second density, then fourth density, and so forth? Does it end in eighth density? Or does it somehow begin there? Where does God end? Where does God begin? And where does your journey, as an expression, as a manifestation of that singular substance, where does it begin and where does it end? Essentially, you see, just like the journey of water, it is timeless in nature. It's timeless and infinite. However, on a more observable, down-to-earth level, so to speak, you can observe that the journey of God in the form of your consciousness has taken on a particular shape. It has taken on a lifetime, an incarnation. So you have seemingly become something, whether that's the glacier ice or the river or the rain, doesn't matter. But you are at this point somewhere along your journey as a form, as an expression. So to make it simple, and since this is called the single life stream theory, let's use the analogy of the river. So let's say that your birth, the moment of your birth, is where the glacier ice melts and it starts to form a river. So when you're newly born, you're a newly melted glacier ice river. And your journey starts throughout the challenges and obstacles and conditioning and the senses and what your parents teach you and tell you and so on and so forth. And slowly you develop some more power. You gather together with some of the groundwater and your river grows in strength, grows in size, it grows in speed. It becomes more defined, it becomes more its own thing. So this is roughly where you're at. You're on your way to the ocean, and let's say that the ocean represents seventh or eighth density of this infinite cycle. In other words, in simpler terms, when the river reaches the ocean, that represents when your consciousness or your soul reaches unity, oneness understanding, oneness recognition with its source material of water. It's when the streams, all the different streams, all the raindrops, they all come back together in the single body of ocean. So from a limited relative point of view, we could say, okay, the journey of the soul, or at least the journey of this life, but you can extrapolate that to the soul level if you want to include the idea of multiple parallel lives and so on. But roughly in this lifetime, your journey begins and its end, not really end because it evaporates once again and so on. But within those bounds of what we can recognize linearly, your journey ends in the ocean of God. It ends with self-realization. It ends with enlightenment. Doesn't mean the journey really ends, but your consciousness then has reached the ocean. There's still many layers to the ocean. There's still much more depth to the ocean. There are many areas to the ocean, so to speak. And the same is the case for even the state of oneness. There's more and more depth to that compared to your initial realization. But what about this time in between that glacier water melting or the glacier ice melting, aka your birth, and this potential, this rich, beautiful potential that keeps calling you forth? The gravity is pulling the river throughout whatever obstacles might be there, and eventually it will reach the ocean. Okay, so this river represents your life stream. Each of our challenges are unique. Each of our talents are unique. Each of our blueprints are unique. Each of our pathways are unique. But we shall meet. And in essence, if you zoom out beyond even this linear perspective, again, it's good to remember that there is no real difference between the water that's right now in the form of ocean, or right now evaporated, right now in the form of rain, right now in the form of river. All that is water. It is still God. So your journey right now as it is God. That's why you have direct access to the enlightened state, because you can recognize water in the form of a river just as much as you can recognize water when you're in the ocean. So just keep that in mind, or in your heart, more importantly. So you have this unique pathway to the ocean, to union, to liberation, to freedom. This is your life stream. Just check in with yourself. This question: have you not had since as long as you can remember in this lifetime, have you not had some background sense of a calling? Even if you wouldn't have called it that before, a feeling of movement forward, a feeling of striving towards something, a feeling of being guided, either magnetically attracted to or kind of pushed from behind or from above towards something. A certain feeling of drive. Yes? I cannot imagine anyone who's not had that. Now, for some, it is present more consciously, it's present stronger, or maybe not even stronger, but at least more consciously. Other people are able to sort of be desensitized to this. But I would dare to bet that every single incarnate individual has that feeling of calling, purpose, destiny, striving, movement, progression towards something, seeking, if you will. This is the core of today's session. I want you to get in touch with this, and I want you to purify it. I want you to throw this angle on that I'm going to give you. Okay, and the basis for this angle, the visualization basis for this angle is that you are a river that is streaming its way towards the ocean, following a unique path on Earth. Again, there's many rivers. Each will find their own path throughout the obstacles and the environment and the consensus collective and so on and so forth towards that body of water where we are all one and we're all happy singing Kumbaya and so on. So on your path there, you will feel the sensation of flowing, of streaming, of striving, of movement, of purpose. You feel the gravity pull your water down from the mountains, closer and closer towards water level, ocean level. And you cannot stop. Gravity cannot stop pulling at water until it reaches the ocean. So that is the seeking impulse, or that's the analogy for your seeking impulse, that inner drive that you cannot get rid of, that I've consistently been promoting, that I've been emphasizing for you all to never lose touch with that, with the seeking impulse. It's your golden lifeline to God. Now, the way that that pulls at you, tugs at you, calls you forth is unique to you. If you were not unique of an expression in that way, then you wouldn't exist because you'd have no purpose. And the Creator does not create sparks without purpose. Hence, you have a purpose. You have a destiny. This river has a certain path, a certain trajectory, a certain objective even, a certain mission, a certain way in which it uniquely gets pulled towards union with God. And it's on your way to God realization that it matters. It can have make a major difference on your life, your state of being, your state of fulfillment, to know what that calling is, or more importantly, to be in tune with it, whether you understand it or not. So far, nothing new. However, the angle that I invite you to take on, the attitude I invite you to take on here is that, even though this is not absolutely true, but as a theory, as an angle, it will work wonders for your life right now. So that's more important. So the following is not absolutely true. However, take it on as if it is absolutely true, and you shall gain the benefits of that. And that is that you only have one stream. Your life path is one single stream. It's not two, it's not three, it's not doubtful, it's not split up into multiple streams. your life's calling, your destiny, that inner feeling of purpose, of drive, of striving, of natural seeking is yours, and that alone is your path. So that which you feel instinctively in your gut or in your heart or in your mind, wherever you might feel it, but that unique to you sense of, I am here for a reason. I want to move forward. I want to accomplish something. I want to realize something. That striving, that purpose feeling contains your blueprint. Or you could say it's a feeling of your blueprint. So it's a sensation, it's an expression. It's the guidance that's coming from. It's the little push that you always need that's coming from the blueprint within you that's already, in at least many aspects, complete. It is already wise. It is already clear. It is already known. You may not know all these aspects with your conscious mind, but you have to understand that in this blueprint that you feel in your heart, gut, or mind, or soul, as this impulse to move forward, this impulse to go be something, be you, explore something, express something, seek something, go somewhere. That feeling, that deep intuitive instinctive sense that you cannot shake, that makes you feel like you're almost always procrastinating when you don't act on it. It's that constant feeling of, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing what I should be doing, I'm avoiding myself, I'm distracting myself, I'm entertaining myself, but I feel kind of guilty in the background for this unfulfilled potential. You recognize that feeling as this sort of subtle, constant nagging in the background. And the only moments it's not there, as you may have noticed, is when you are fucking alive and you are expressing yourself in the truest way possible, and you're taking the most courageous step you can possibly think of in that moment. And usually we call this discipline. So we're also going to reframe discipline a little bit. But let's say courage. You're in your most courageous moments. You feel alive. You feel your stream. You've accelerated towards the ocean. You've gained mass, spiritual mass. And for that period of time, for that moment, and it has an after effect until the courage wanes and the old thoughts come back and you start listening to all those noises again. But when you have a moment of clarity, which usually results from courage, from no bullshit attitude towards yourself, from perceived discipline, from going for it, from doing it, from having faith, trusting, moving forward, saying yes to this inner impulse without inhibition. Every moment that you do that, this nagging background feeling, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't do enough, I keep procrastinating, I feel so distracted, I can't focus, I wonder what my calling is, when is the next Be Life session so I can juice up again. All these, that nagging background feeling is always there, except when you're acting on your calling. So if we use the visual of your single life stream towards the ocean, which defines your destiny, and is already inborn in you, it is already your blueprint, you cannot change this. This is the theory that's not absolutely true part. A little bit more on that in a minute. So it's not absolutely true, but for this intent and this purpose, I encourage you to take on the view, the perspective that it is true. The perspective that your destiny is already completely set. Just imagine that for a moment. Your stream, your river is already completely set, which doesn't negate free will, by the way. It doesn't cancel free will. But the flow of the river, the shape of the river, and think about it. Let's say that you take a little inner tube or one of those blow-up boats and you go somewhere into a river. You are at some point in that river between the glacier ice of the incarnation and the ocean of God. You're on that river, somewhere along that river's unique path to the ocean. But as we speak already, although you might be consciously, let's say, 10 kilometers downstream from the glacier ice and 100 kilometers away from the ocean, that same river, which is you, that same river already has its shape figured out all the way to the ocean. You're just not there yet. But it is a single stream, you see. It's not like where you are riding the river right now consciously with your conscious mind. It's not like you're creating the river right there and then, and you're deciding, oh, let's go left. Oh, let's turn this river right. That river downstream, your future self, is already carved out. Now, yes, you might erode that a little bit left and right. There is some flexibility in terms of your agreements with yourself and so forth. You can give different kinds of expressions to that. You can do a naked little dance in your inner tube, or you can wear a suit and keep your feet straight and super focused sunglasses on. But this stream of your life is already reaching the ocean at some point in the nonlinear future. So apply this to your sense of calling and see if you can conjure up the feeling, and this is important, or this is powerful. If you can conjure up the feeling that my life is actually already determined. And I mean this in an exciting way. I don't mean this in all the shit that's about to happen is going to happen anyway. I mean that your calling, your purpose, your stream, your destiny is already known. It's already complete. It's already there. The only option you have is not whether to turn left or right with your river, because the river already found its path to the ocean from your soul level perspective. The only question you have, the only option that you have, at least within this theory or angle, is you can either hold on to one of the boulders sticking out in the river, aka resistance, fear, hesitation, trying to create your own life for yourself, trying to visualize yourself into all these amazing manifestations that you think you want that may not have anything to do with your river, or to let go, to not get stuck on any boulder, no matter how tempting, that sticks out in your river. In other words, you can flow with courage and faith, surrender, or you can hold on and plan for a life of your own making.
Massaro University is a vibrant online community dedicated to accelerating your awakening and activating your purpose for the benefit of all. Join live sessions with Bentinho and workshops led by experienced facilitators. Deepen your wisdom, empowerment, and self-knowledge, and experience life-changing shifts week after week. At Massaro University, finding like-hearted seekers is easy and inevitable. Lifelong friendships and a shared purpose fuel profound personal and collective growth. Create your free account today at massaro.university and step into a community that's designed to elevate every aspect of your life.
But here you need to understand that building a life of your own making, I want this, I want that, I don't like this, I want more money, I want a boyfriend, I want this, I want to feel better. All that fucking whining that you do day in and day out is you, small self you, conditioned self you, society indoctrinated matrix you, fighting against the stream, the wisdom, the insight of your nonlinear, timeless, higher self, you, which, get this, is more you than you are you. So you're taking something that's less actually you, and you're listening to this little creature, this little gremlin in your brain, having the controls, the joysticks. Wee, I want this, I want that, I'm dissatisfied, distracted. And you're listening to this little monster in your mind, and you're defending that monster. You say, don't you dare offend that monster. Don't you dare challenge what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, what I want, what my agendas are. I am pure and untouchable. I'm the best thing to have ever happened to this planet. And this is exactly how I want it. And I'm going to visualize it into existence. And I'll prove you wrong. This little gremlin that you think is you sometimes is less you than the one that hears my voice right now from the level of your soul, that clearly decided to tune into this session because it's wise and it knows where to find the wisdom that you need. And here is the wisdom that you need. Stop fighting yourself. You're fighting what you really want, the direction of your river, which is already there for you. It's already complete. It's already found its path to the ocean. You need not worry about a thing. It's set up so beautifully in the way that you do not have to worry about a thing. You do not have to concern yourself with anything. All you have to stop doing is holding on to the boulders on the side of the river while this water of your soul is pushing you forward. That's what you feel as procrastination, as distraction, as out of alignment, being out of integrity with your true purpose here on earth. Suffering, struggle, challenge, and then you're holding on to that rock, and all this water, this blessed water of your soul is pouring down your throat because you just won't let go. You're drowning in your own fucking bliss, and it feels horrible because you're resisting it. And now from this resistance state, you're going to pray to the Lord. Oh, please, God, help me, save me, give me what I want. I feel this way because I don't have this, I don't have the boyfriend, I don't have the car, I don't have the finances, I don't have it. My neighbor said, I'm an asshole. Please, God, make him see the light, make him see that I'm a good person. So all you have to do is fucking let go. Take a deep breath. And for 2 to 5 seconds, you give up everything you think you know, which is very, very little. And what little you do know is absolutely, insert a nasty word here. Let go. Stop fighting yourself, you see. When you think you want something and you're going to try to manifest it, you're going to try to create it, you're going to try to manipulate your way into that thing, even if you're using spiritual means to do it, manifestation techniques and so on, prayer, meditation, visualization, all these beautiful things, which do have an effect, they do have a power. But when you're doing that from the state of holding on to a rock and not understanding that your purpose is already guiding you, the only thing you're missing is faith. AKA courage or honor. So since your life, your calling, your purpose, your destiny is a single live stream for you, and there's no other option, remember? Pretend, and to some extent this is true, but it's not absolutely true. It's not absolutely true in all cases. That's why I cannot make that claim. But in most cases, it is quite true. It's quite accurate. And for the purpose of this exercise, I encourage you to pretend that it is absolutely true, even though it's not, but it doesn't matter. So imagine that it's absolutely true that you have no other option in your life but to go downstream your river, and that river already exists as a complete package deal, a complete package of information, a blueprint within you, and how it's guiding you step by step by step along the way towards your destiny, along that line of your destiny. Every point in that line is your destiny, by the way. Destiny is not just the last breath that you take in this life when you've accomplished all these things. Right now, this is your destiny. This is the step of your destiny now. Every portion of the river, every point of the river from the top to the bottom when it reaches the ocean is your destiny's stream. So you can live your destiny fulfilled right now. Really, truly, completely. It depends on the completeness of your courage and your surrender. And what can help your courage is if you get rid of this delusion that your life is yours for the making, which does not cancel out free will. Again, I can highlight that if needed. I can explain that if needed. What I'm saying is, you have selected the path for you already. You did. And now you've incarnated, you forgot about that, and you start arguing with your own plans. You start resisting what you, in all your wisdom and your expanded, timeless perspective, out of bliss and joy and purpose and relevance, chose for you so meticulously. Now you are born, you think you know a couple of things, you take pride in what you know, you develop desires based on what you think you know, and what you have and what you don't have, and what you want and what you don't want. You become this annoying little diva. Annoying to whom? To yourself. You are annoying to you endlessly. If only you knew. If only you knew exactly how annoying you are to you. I am not exaggerating. Simultaneously, you're unconditionally loved. But you see, this is why it's extra annoying to the level of the higher self, because it has to love you unconditionally, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you resist. It's locked into a state of unconditional forgiveness and love and patience. And it has to take every slap in the face that you give it by your own insistence upon your ideas and your beliefs and your wants and your needs and your preferences and your demands and da da da. Whereas the higher self is like, dear one, if only you saw what I see, if only you remembered that I am you, you are me, and that we set this up together as one for incredible reason that excite you to the core of your being, that will fulfill you beyond end, and that contains everything you're ever going to need exactly when you need it, how you need it, and so on. And that we set this up in such a way that you, with your puny little physical mind that's just there to see whether the traffic light is red or green, has nothing to worry about, nothing to concern itself with whatsoever. We designed it so that it's like you, as a person with a heavy backpack, step on the train, and the train will take you to your destination. You do not need to keep carrying this heavy backpack while your body is already on the train. You can simply put your backpack, your garbage, your burdens, your concerns down, and let the stream, let the train take both you and your concerns to your destination. This stream will carry you. Your stream will carry you. There is no one that chose that stream for you besides you. Are you in there? Are you listening? Do you remember what we decided? What you wanted? If you don't, that's fine. It's part of incarnation. It's part of the game. It's part of the challenge. It's part of the fun, eventually. So if you don't remember what we decided, you and you, And the next best thing you can do, simply have faith in what you have decided. And let that stream carry you all the way to the ocean in the unique and exciting path that's most exciting to your particular soul. And know that whatever you need will appear when you need it, exactly in the form that you need it. There is no lack when you let go. There is no lack when you trust your stream. You might be stranded in a desert for 30 days, but there will be no lack. And if you live with this courage, with this surrender, and you understand there is no other option for you but the life that's urging you forward, that's urging you onward, that's causing the progress, that's causing the breakthrough, that's causing the expansion, that's calling for your courage, your agreement, your allowance, your trust. If only you can allow the stream to stream downstream and to take you downstream as designed, then you could be in the desert and be fulfilled, completely fulfilled. Hard to imagine, I know, but you could be in absolute ecstasy, bliss, dancing with the universe as one, being stranded in the desert, minutes away from apparent death. An extreme example, but I'm just telling you that that will be the case. If you decide to live with honor and courage and faith every moment and let the stream take you and let go of your self-concern and your separate little life that you want to create for yourself, if you trust me, meaning you, and you let go, you have everything you need and everything shall be taken care of. And all the manifestations that you truly desire and need shall be there because that's already written. It's already part of your blueprint. Conversely, and so you will be fulfilled all the time, but conversely, you could hold on to that boulder. You could even step out from the river seemingly, not really, but seemingly. You could pretend that you're taking a break from your calling, from your purpose, from your life stream. And you're setting up camp on the banks of this river in this little corner, a nice little spot there, you think. And you could go learn about how to manifest the best life possible for you. You do all the meditation techniques. You can visualize what you want, what you are lacking in, that you need. And you could do it all right. And you might even have success, God forbid. And when you have success with that, and suddenly there is this leprechaun that comes and brings you a pot of gold to your campsite, and you built this massive mansion. And some handsome pilot sees that impressive mansion from their airplane. And you're like, wow, this is the mansion that I put on my vision board 2 years ago. And so he ditches his plane and he takes his parachute and he comes down. And here's your knight in shining armor with a parachute, just falling out of the sky, straight into your arms. This beautiful mansion, this giant pot of gold. And you could have it all. There could even be chocolate in your cupboard, endless chocolate. Success, validation, approval by society. You could be revered. You could be famous. You could have all that and not be fulfilled. Not live your destiny. Still go against the stream. Still argue with God. Still smack yourself in the face. Still abuse yourself, spiritually speaking. And never be satisfied. Or you could have nothing right now, but take the next most courageous step, full of faith, listening to that inner impulse, that seeking impulse, that golden thread, that which you know would be the absolute most awesome thing for you to decide upon next. And with courage, you could face that challenge. And you'd be fulfilled right now, deeply fulfilled, deeply satisfied. And you will be able to taste God on your tongue. You will be able to see him with your eyes, hear him with your ears, feel him with your skin, smell him with your nose. You'll be able to know him with your mind. actualize him, activate into the world, be able to speak him with your vocal cords. It'd be a radiant expression, more and more transparent, rapidly moving down the most exciting path already known for you, already complete for you, towards the ocean of endless bliss and union with God. Liberation. Or you could set up camp, develop this whole bubble of a successful separate little life, and 10 wasted years later, have that bubble popped and realize that you've been dreaming, and not in a good way. You've been deceived by that little gremlin in your mind, that little lack-based, insecurity-based mechanism that thought it was on top of the world, creating its own life, all the while going against what you chose for yourself. And then at some point you die, you review your life, and you're like, damn it, it's time to spend another 9 months growing from a little clump of clay cells into this creature and sit in this dark, comfortable tunnel for 9 months, and then come out screaming, get my foreskin clipped off, get my only lifeline to my mom clipped off right away, have to learn how to breathe and see, deal with the light and the sounds. And that's only when the hell starts. Then there's several years before you can even like walk and talk and have any kind of sense of self. Before that, you're just a sponging, learning, incapacitated, absolutely handicapped. And then you're young. How fun is it to be 5 years old? Really? Is it really that fun? Would you want to go back right now if you could? Hell no. How was the schoolyard at age 11? Was it fun? Were you living your purpose? Were you excited about your life going forward and clear on everything? Were you as clear as you are now? No, that takes time to remember, to reactualize. So, in addition to the 10 or 20 or 30 wasted years, setting up camp with your beautiful mansion and your beautiful dreams and your manifestation prowess and your perfect partnership, in addition to that, delay. Let's say it was 10 years before you woke up from it. Jump back into the stream, gave up all your possessions, at least in your mind, became free once again, raw, powerful, seeing the way that God sees, moment to moment, acting moment to moment, with courage, with faith, with service to others, in your heart, automatically, with purity always accessible, innocence, love, oneness always available to you, God always in your awareness naturally, bliss, and even beyond bliss, something even better beyond bliss. And you realize what a fool you've been. And now those wasted years of not acting on your destiny, of resisting your destiny and turning that into your dream life. Not only will you have to recreate that in some way, shape, or form, because you want to, it's unfulfilled potential, but also you have to reboot your entire incarnation, start from scratch, develop a new character, and so on and so forth, and hope that things go well. And if you're blessed enough, you might be guided again to a teacher that can remind you, or a group of friends that can remind you. But there's a lot of cases where that does not happen. You are lucky. So please, on behalf of your higher self, which is me, hi, I encourage you to wake up, have your only attitude going forward be trust and courage. You get the impetus, you get the impulse, you get the guidance to move, do this thing, express this thing, choose that thing. You go do it. without any thoughts of the consequence. As long as your actions are in integrity with the law of free will, meaning you're not preventing anyone else from acting on their free will, you're good. That's the only golden rule. The entire book of law, pretty much, at least the ethical portion based on replacing true ethics with something written on paper, can be replaced with the simple golden rule: do not do anything that will take away someone else's free will to choose what they want to choose. As long as you honor that, your ethics are golden. So, as long as you honor that rule and you learn to listen intuitively to the impulse with which I guide you, I meaning your higher self, and you act on that with courage, you stop concerning yourself with your own life. Stop taking on the burden of your own problem. Trust the river and see that it's your only path chosen for this life. There is no other path. No matter what you think you want, it's not actually what you want. That's all born of resistance, lack, insecurity, trauma, and so on and so forth. These are all compensatory ideas and beliefs and desires. They will distract you. They will destroy you. They will harm you, spiritually speaking, and also ultimately mentally, physically, emotionally, relationally, and so on. Don't make me have to bring you down to your knees again and again. I, meaning your higher self. Until humility and trust is almost forced upon you or strongly encouraged in the form of catalyst and struggle and suffering and betrayal and abandonment and confusion and the dark night of the soul and so on and so forth. This is not in any case necessary. You could also just listen to me. Me being your higher self. It is up to you. There's only one path for you. Struggle as you wish. Fight against this as much as you like. It's not gonna change your calling. The only thing to do is to face the next challenge with courage, to act on the next inspiration with joy and faith, and so on and so forth, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one step of courage followed by a step of trust and faith and surrender. Courage, trust, faith, surrender, courage. One stream, follow that stream. You have no other life to live. Isn't that liberating? That your highest path is already complete for you. It's already within you. You do not have to go out of your way to manifest it, to create it, to find it somewhere. You do not even have to listen to me to get that. You already have the path for you, completely built into you. So move with it. Any type of concern you see is unnecessary and it's detrimental. Anytime you feel concerned, mark my words, anytime that you are getting worried and concerned about the outcome of where this inner impulse is guiding you, you are holding on to a rock in the river. You're delaying the inevitable joy that awaits you, the expansion that is calling you forth out of a minuscule idea that you bought into at a certain age. That's not true for you and doesn't serve you. It slows your path down for no reason. And it hurts. It hurts to betray yourself. Every time you're concerned with something, you betray yourself. Radical standard, I know, but it is the only standard that exists in this universe. Everything else is BS, tolerance, complacency, laziness, and detrimental to your happiness. And I am here to promote your happiness. So, this is the only standard we shall go by. It hurts to betray yourself, and every time you're concerned and you're choosing to indulge in the fear, the intimidation factor that comes up, it's fine to feel challenged. It's fine to be a little intimidated. Ooh. But keep the faith, keep the courage, and don't try to avoid it and create another stream for yourself. I'm telling you, it's not possible. You're just delaying the inevitable expansion and joy that's at the other end of that fear. So be courageous. Free yourself. Stream forward. You know an epic life awaits you. I don't care how old you physically are already. There's so many rich experiences that await you, especially if you've been holding back all this potential for all this time. Let go of that rubber band and it will shoot in the opposite direction. You can have the most blissful few years of your life before you die now. And it will all be worth it. It will all have been worth it. It will render it all redeemed, liberated, forgiven, completed, and you'll be fulfilled in a moment, in the moment, in this moment, in this moment, now, and forever, because you stop trying to separate yourself from what you've already decided for yourself. Join your own live stream. Join your own live stream, your only option. Join your live stream or resist your live stream. There is no other option. Forget about option B. There is no option B. Life, you, your higher self, will push you towards that goal. And yes, it will challenge you. You will be challenged. Better to just accept that right now. There's going to be a waterfall. There's going to be a waterfall somewhere along the path of your river. There's going to be an underground tunnel you have to go through. But your stream will move on and it will reach the ocean, and you will be bloody excited when you actually navigate through it. And you'll be proud of yourself. You'll feel the presence of God. You'll be lit up. You'll be a radiant example for others. And you'll be fulfilled now, no matter what you have or not have. What you'll have is God and your true path, your destiny, fulfilled. Okay, my friends. That's the idea of the single live stream, that you only have one live stream. Don't try to create something else. Just accept your purpose. It's already there. It already excites you and it scares you. So what? Embrace it with courage. Accept your destiny. And you'll know joy. And we'll create amazing things together, you and I. Amazing things. For the whole fucking planet. But I need you strong and powerful and radiant. There are no snowflakes in the kingdom of heaven. Be brave. Join me under the sun. Find infinite courage in your heart and encouragement from me. Representation of your deeper self. An ambassador for that.
Thank you for watching this Bentinho live session. Bentinho now hosts these transformative live sessions completely free, offering profound insights and guidance to support your journey. To attend the next live session with Bentinho, simply visit Massaro University and follow the instructions to create your free account.